Paramount Plus is taking on the juggernauts in the streaming wars. Zack Snyder is becoming an expert at raising the dead, and the makers of Peggle are sending Otters to space. Ace. All that and the latest and everything cool today in the Rundown. Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. We've got some fun stuff to hit today. And, of course, the Rundown is brought to you by the Gaming Stadium. They are Canada's leader in online esports tournament facilitation. They've got tournaments going on every weekend. You don't want to miss out on the action. You can find out all about them and join up at tgs.gg and tell them Vic from the Rundown sent you. Now, today's show is dedicated to iBuyDigital, who was incredibly kind and generous on my live stream yesterday. He says, love the stories, LOL. And yes, I do tell stories when I live stream. All right, we've got a new entrant in the streaming wars. Let's get to it. Viacom CBS is getting serious about streaming. First of all, they're rebranding CBS All Access to Paramount Plus, and it's going to launch in the U.S. on March 4th. They're coming in with a couple of different prices for subscriptions, so you can pay $5 a month and you'll get ads, or you can spend $10 a month and go ad-free. And not only are they incorporating all of the stuff that was on CBS All Access, which all of the subscribers to that are just going to be looped into Paramount Plus, but they're going to be adding a whole bunch of new content. And one of the biggest, most dramatic statements that Paramount Plus is making is that it will be the home for theatrically released films 45 days after they're in theaters, which is incredibly aggressive. And two of the big titles that are coming out in 2021, hopefully, are Mission Impossible 7 and A Quiet Place Part 2. Both of those movies will be available on Paramount Plus just 45 days after they're in theaters, which is kind of unheard of. And of course, this is going to send all kinds of shockwaves across the theatrical industry again. But they're not stopping there. They're making a streaming version of 60 Minutes. They're making TV series based on some of their movie properties like Fatal Attraction and The Godfather and Grease and The Italian Job. Of course, they're diving deeper into their Star Trek property, which has proven to be quite successful for them with Discovery and Picard. They've got a new Captain Pike show that's coming up. They've got an animated series called Prodigy that's coming up that's supposed to appeal to kids. And they've even got documentaries like Console Wars, which is based on the cool video game history book by Blake Harris. Paramount Plus is home to a bunch of different networks: CBS, Nickelodeon, BET, MTV, the Smithsonian Channel, Comedy Central, plus all of the Paramount Picture stuff in there. They're being incredibly forceful with this presentation. There's also lots of bets on established properties, like they're going to remake Frasier and Beavis and Butthead. They're going to remake Behind the Music. So it's going to be kind of crazy to see all of these classic brands re-emerge here on Paramount Plus. But clearly the future is streaming. What do you guys think? Are you going to be able to handle subscribing to another service? And yes, it is coming to Canada later on this year, the full meal deal. It's going to be as aggressive as Disney Plus is, and as Netflix is, and as HBO Max is, and will continue to be. Can your wallet handle all of these subscriptions to all these all-you-can-eat video services like this? And speaking about video services, Netflix has got a new movie directed by Zack Snyder. The new trailer for Army of the Dead, directed by Zack Snyder, was released today. It comes to Netflix on May 21st, and it looks like lots of crazy zombie hijinks are going to happen in this city of sin. We see showgirls, we see lots of gamblers, we see Elvis impersonators, basically all the things that you would expect to see in Las Vegas, and some zombie makeup and effects have been applied. You see David Bautista running and gunning and taking charge. I love Dave Bautista, by the way. He's an awesome actor. It looks like it's going to be some zany fun, some good-looking zany fun with some pretty cool shots. Love the overhead shot to see the streets just completely filled with zombies and the city in ruins. Vegas has always been a cool place to craft a zombie dystopia. I wonder how much time Zack Snyder has spent playing Dead Rising, because this looks a lot like Dead Rising. In fact, some of the homemade weaponry that we see on some of these actors feels like a Dead Rising experience. What do you guys think? Not only is Zack Snyder going to be raising Superman back from the dead, but he's going to be raising an army of undead and letting them go nuts in Las Vegas. I think it could be a lot of fun. All right, something else that could be a lot of fun is a new game made by some of the makers of Peggle. The fine folks of Wayward Distractions shot me over a press release with a link to the new trailer for Space Otter Charlie. Yes, This is an outer space game starring otters, and it looks freaking adorable. This game is made by a bunch of PopCap legends, including Ed Allard, and they made lots of awesome games over there like Plants vs. Zombies and Peggle. And this game looks like it's going to be quite adorable and quite accessible and quite challenging. There's some multiplayer components in there. I mean, it's definitely 2D. It's in the vein of a lot of the sort of simpler looking games that PopCap is famous for, but there's nothing wrong with that if the gameplay is super tight. And it does look like there's going to be some fun gravity challenge here and a good sense of humor about all of this. Just the fact that there are these cute otters in outer space and spacesuits with all of these abilities and power-ups. Sign me up, man. I'm looking forward to this one. It's coming out to all the platforms as well: Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. So they've got some real support around this title, and it's coming out soon. It's coming out March 18th. And yes, I've requested a review code, so I'll definitely come back with some thoughts on Space Otter Charlie. Otters in space! Ace, ace, ace. All right, just one quick thing to tell you guys about. I watched Superman and Lois, the first episode of it, and I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm not going to dive deep into the plot and the story threads here. I'm not going to spoil anything. I just enjoyed the concept. It's kind of a fusion of the old romantic Lois and Clark Superman show and Smallville, which is still one of my favorite superhero shows, although they never put him in the tights, I know. This one, we get Superman action, we get the relationship with Lois, but they've got a couple of teenage sons, and they've got to deal with the realities of family life, and there's some strife, and the sons are very different from one another, and there's definitely some melodrama as we come to associate with a lot of these CW shows, but it's shot really well. There's some cool effects, nice performances. I quite enjoyed episode 1. I'm going to stick with the show, and down the road I'll have some full thoughts about the whole season 1 of Superman and Lois. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for our rundown today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with a brand new episode. Thank you so much to all of our subscribers and to all of our EPN members. We'll see you soon, and until then, play forever.